All right, good afternoon. So today I need to start scrapping some of the stuff down. I don't have a lot of scrap. I showed it kind of last time. You'll see it throughout this video. Right now I'm going to tear down a ceiling fan. It was broken, left on the side of the street in the neighborhood, so I found it and brought it back. Figured might as well reuse. And trust me, you'll find from this video I am no expert in tearing down and scrapping these things. Like I said, it's a hobby, and still learning out the best paths to do everything. So, yeah, probably a little bit of funny, a bit of a learning experience, but we'll see how it goes. Now, I don't really have a need for steel, so what I'll do is I'll end up kind of just setting everything to the side and going through it, separating the copper from the aluminum from the brass and the steel. And the steel I'll take to the recycling center myself, just because I might as well get some use out of it. Part of it was the blades on this was broken off as well. So those are I removed before the video. I put them out previously to be taken away. Sometimes it's just about getting the right angle. Helps if you get all the screws. And as always, it's good to have a magnet close by so you can quickly identify steel or not. And then get it out of the way. one down here is trying to give me a little bit of trouble. It's probably too big. One more time, and then I got the electric. Try a slightly different screwdriver. There it goes. Yeah. I got lucky. I found this other screwdriver, which was good enough to break it loose. I gotta cut myself on something. That's why most people recommend using gloves in case you cut yourself. Let's take a look at the top. Some of y'all are going to say is, why cut it now? Let's see. Cut it up high. It's in. You don't get too awful much for home use out of these wires, the smaller ones. So I'll just separate it now. I'll scroll back to that. this is where the extra screwdriver would save time, and I'd probably switch over to that right now, but maybe the next one. So I'll just do by hand just to get a feel for it. So I have one of these, I mentioned earlier, I've half scrapped. I have one in my little bin down here. We'll get to it a little later, but I went ahead and removed it from the steel housing, but I didn't actually break apart any of the pieces to get the copper out of it or break up any of the cables. So hopefully what I can do is get this video here and then work on another one after this where I break down all the remaining scrap. That's not really any noticeable device. Like one's from my microwave. I had an over-the-counter microwave that went out. I'm sorry, yeah, over the stove microwave that went out on me and had to replace it. So I kept the old one. I've also got some copper wires from when my air conditioner went out. That's something you really want to have happen in the middle of summer. But my AC went out and I had that replaced as well. Lovely. Lots to clean up today, which is okay. I don't have one of the fancy wire cutters or strippers that you see on some of the other sites. So when I go to do this, I'll have to do it all the old-fashioned slow way, which I'm okay with that. It's, again, it's for fun, so why not? That's not all gonna fit, isn't it? Well, that's why they make the little breakaways, huh? Alright. You can hear in the background, I'm just checking these for, make sure they're steel before I throw them into a kind of a standard bin that I'll take to the recycling center later, because even though I can't use steel, you know, they can. So I don't want to throw as little in the trash as possible. Something get reused, we might as well. Non-magnetic. We'll take a look at that a little later then. Let's see what we have. Probably call for the old scratch test to see if it's just bronze. Of course, the other problem is using this mini foundry, something like this that fits into a propane crucible just doesn't fit. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to cut it, crush it, or something in order to melt it down. I was always interested in these kind of things because you know, not just that the wires, but that the motor inside the housing is where a lot of the copper is. Now, there's a lot of, from what I've learned, copper plated or copper coated aluminum as well. So once we get in there, we'll have to do a scratch test on that as well to see exactly what it is that we have, and then put it in the right place accordingly. So, a lot smaller, a lot more handleable. Same thing with the screws. I'm just going to kind of put them all together for now. I'll run the magnet over there to pull out any of the steel screws there are, and then check to see what we have as far as brass screws. Haven't done that before, so everything's, I guess, the first time until you do it, right? And I know my first two videos are kind of, yeah, they're not great. Still trying to figure all the camera angles out, and the lighting is not good. I'm doing all this on an iPhone. I'm not really, again, I'm not looking to make money off these videos. I'm doing it for fun. I figured, share the fun. If you like it, great. If you don't, not the end of the world, but I wasn't looking to spend money for a hobby. Other than, you know, buying the crucible and the tools that I need. So, now, I gotta figure out how to open this up. How did I do that last time? Looks like it should just come open. But this is in the way and that's in the way. I'm gonna do this. This back half has to happen. Nope. Got it right the first time. How do I get in here? Well, time for plan B, I guess. Oh, alright, so only thing that made logical sense is we got to break this part off the bottom, and to do that we have to be able to turn it. So great angle gave a little bit there. Like usual, it is the hard way. And then I went the wrong way. Feels like I'm holding Medusa's head here. So, all right. So I probably missed it earlier. There's another screw down here. Might have made that last piece a little easier, but who knows? Maybe not. No change. Never mind. Now, the question is how to separate the interior from each other. I'm rotating to see if I can find any screws on the interior that might be holding it together still. I can see the copper. Wires straight through. How? Thinking that this here needs to rotate off, so let's go back to the alright, I think I give it a little shot here. I think the best solution is the top only has a little gap, bottom had a bigger one. Let's just see if we can separate it. Oh, that was easy. Should have started with that. Unfortunately, what I did was really open it. I still need to determine how to get them apart. So, I think the only thing left to do, all right, I've had no luck trying to figure this out, so I thought I'll probably just stop and move to the next piece, but before that, do a little bit of cleanup. Maybe in doing so, we'll figure out the path forward. If anybody out there has done this, feel free to leave a comment and tell me what I'm missing and how, what I should do to overcome it. Because even though it's not the same fan, I do have another fan. And we'll keep scrapping some other items here in a few minutes. All right. Just want to try one more time. Luckily, that's pretty easy to reproduce. That has no on this. And on the bottom. I'm thinking my best play is probably cutting through this piece here, but I broke my cutting blade recently, so I will have to go procure a new one. And this is not. Let me see what I can do. What can we do? You know, I always go the wrong way first. I haven't seen here. The whole thing turns with it. But the bottom half is coming off, so I think we got it. Hey, look at that. All right, time to move back. All right, well, persistence paid off for us there. So let's see. What the inside has for us. Put it back on the table and re-disconnect it. Working against gravity, definitely not as easy. Which I'm dumb. I don't know why I was doing all of that. Much easier. All right. So. That's kind of funny. It still isn't coming off. Piece is stuck. Definitely feels like the bottom half is the looser one. All right, we're back over here. Now we're gonna try one more time. Take this off. We finally got it. It's not the first time I said that today. plasticky, but I'm sure it's not. So it's not steel. It does have a metallic shine to it. But let's flip it over, break it open again. Finally. Yeah, I can definitely tell you I did not get that far with the other one. And so this one, steel all around. Just throw that off to the side. So that's a good amount of copper in here. Wires are coming off. So I'm sure there's a better way to do it. Let me know. I'm just going to come through and cut and try to pull this up, because in the end, even if it doesn't come up pretty, it'll come up, and then once it melts, it melts. I think I've seen some videos where they just hit this a few times and then they come out. Might try it both ways. Try cutting it at first. Now, I've been using gloves this whole time, I know. But I will here, since copper wire is what can easily cut you. So, let's yeah, I need some better cutters, that's for sure. I didn't know what to expect in here, but this was not what I was expecting. Not that it's a bad thing, just, again, not what I was expecting. I've got a bin. Doesn't have much in there yet. It's got some copper pipe fittings that I had from previously that I didn't need, and came in a pack of 10, so I've got the rest of them in here. I was going to hold on to them until we needed them, but we kind of went away from copper pipes, so I don't need them anymore. I guess it helps if you lock it in. You know what? I am just going to take a quick look at it. I still can't figure out exactly what is keeping this locked in. So let's have some fun. Let's just whack it a couple times and see what happens. Sounds like everything on my bench is falling apart, just not this piece. I definitely made some movement, but it didn't really free anything up or break anything off. So I think that didn't help. This is back to wires, wire cutters. I'm just thinking there has to be a better way. Hold on, I think. All right, I don't know if this is gonna make a difference, but let's find out. Doesn't look like it's doing much. Maybe. No. I'm not going to make you watch. This is going to take a long time. I'm going to experiment a couple ways, and I'll come back and show you what worked and what didn't. So, all right, so I left the last two on here. It's gotten a lot easier with the new tools. Tools help, right? So what I did, tried to save two clean ones, but when I flipped it over, I saw it already had one halfway cut. So the front ones were relatively easy. You can just pull it straight down the side. But the back ones get harder to see. So what I was doing is cutting. And I know videomanship and all that. I like to watch the whole process done too. And I'm sure you guys do too. I'll get to that. But, you know, first I have to learn how to do some video editing. Because I think the standard YouTube one that I use doesn't have that. To expedite the footage. But, again, it's here. So then I just flip it over, and then you're able to give it a squeeze, and then rotate it out. Sometimes on one pull, sometimes on two or three even. The key is you have to make sure that you cut it all the way through. I had a few, as I was doing this without you, I had to go back and recut through the bottom half just to make sure I got all the wiring. But just like that, there's a few stragglers, but not too bad. Overall, a very painful process. I have a lot of respect for people that do this more often. Learned a lot, and yeah. I also see now why people don't talk in these videos, because there's a lot of grunting and a lot of hard working, but it's worth it, right? So, all right, let me reset. All right, so let's just start with the aluminum. I'm gonna roll this up, at least bundle it up. The nice thing about aluminum, with its lower melting point, is we can throw it in the foundry one piece at a time, let it melt, and then add another. So as long as this fits within here, which it doesn't, we're good. So I think for weighing purposes, we don't need to do that. Let's just see how much aluminum we have from the microwave. And again, this is just part one for the microwave. There's going to be a lot more. We still have the power transformers to do, so aluminum being light, I don't expect this to be very much. 4.2 ounces. If you remember, the bar we made the other day was 10 ounces, so that's a pretty big difference. And since aluminum is lighter, the bar would be bigger. All right, copper. So I had some fittings in here before, so I'm just gonna take just the copper out that we got today, so that we're not counting the wrong pieces. So that's 12 ounces. That's already more now than what we melted the other day when we made the bar. Which is good, because if you probably remember, that bar wasn't a very full bar. So the fact that we have 14 and a half ounces, hopefully 14 and a half after this, means that we should get a good melt next time. About 14 and a half. Yeah, 14 and a half, look at that. So, all in all, 1.4 pounds. So, and if we convert that to kilograms, wait, what? Oh, we're 570 grams. So we're at a half a kilogram. And a 3 kilogram crucible, we got plenty of room, which is good because we still have plenty of tear down to go through. Not everything down there is to be torn down, but yeah, there's still a number of things to go through. So next video though, I promise, we'll break down a little more copper and then we'll do a full melt with it. So look for that next week. Thanks for watching. Leave me any tips you guys have, any improvements you need or you like. Feel free to subscribe and yeah, check back. Have a good day.